The Samsung Galaxy M11 has an unnamed tempered glass protection on its display, and we are going to perform the scratch test on it to know its quality and scratch resistance. Samsung has an excellent track record in providing genuine glass protection and has mostly managed to pass my scratch test. Now the heavy-duty blade we are using here does an amazing job of exposing poor quality and highly scratch-prone glass, mostly found on devices with pre-applied plastic screen protectors and no oleophobic coating. On the other hand, devices with high-quality tempered glass protection or basic Corning glass, even on the cheapest of Redmi devices, are easily able to survive the blade abuse. There seems to be an absence of oleophobic coating on the Galaxy M11's display. We will come back to that and prove it later in the video. We will prove the absence of oleophobic coating later in the video, but despite the loud scratching noises of metal on glass, this unnamed glass protection still manages to pass my scratch test without damage or scratch marks. Today we are durability testing the Samsung Galaxy M11, the latest addition in the already large M series budget lineup. It seems to be an ideal starter device for light to moderate users at the most due to the budget Snapdragon 450 processor and priced slightly on the higher side at 11K. But the addition of the punch-hole selfie camera at the left gives it a pricier look with a non-slippery matte finish plastic back. And even though it has a smaller 5000 mAh battery than the 6000 on the M21, it weighs in much heavier at 197 grams with a slightly heavy in-hand feel, but it does seem to feel pretty strong in my usual trial bend. Unlike few devices of the past, Samsung has not provided any type of IP certified water and dust resistance in the recent devices, including the A series. The Samsung Galaxy M11 here also does not have any kind of water resistance or IP rating, and there is also no rubber seal on the SIM tray present on few devices of the competition. Starting the water test, we are checking for a layer of oleophobic coating which helps in preventing fingerprint smudges on the glass. The presence of this oleophobic layer is proved when water rolls off in the form of droplets instead of sticking to the glass surface, like you can see here on the M11. As mentioned earlier, it is now proved that there is no oleophobic coating present. The Galaxy M11 is the only Samsung device we have tested so far where the oleophobic coating is totally absent and seems like a cost-cutting measure. Anything can happen to the non-water resistant devices during any stage of the water test. For example, the Redmi Note 8 in the following light splashing stage had suffered from a permanent black screen due to motherboard damage and wasn't able to reach the heavy drenching stage. Or the Asus Zenfone 5Z which had suffered from permanent display damage right after heavy drenching. But the most common thing to happen in devices with no water resistance is distorted low audio from the external speaker, lasting only for a few seconds, or it may last for many hours, which may not be a good sign because it can lead to permanent damage of the sound and display unit or the motherboard. Samsung devices unfortunately have not done too well in this regard, and is the same with the Samsung Galaxy M11. The low distorted audio lasted for about 35 minutes, and the M11 wasn't able to reach the next stage. Everything seems to be fine after the first bottom side drop from pocket height. Now for the second top side drop from pocket height. Still no damage or cracks suffered, just a slight white mark at the corner. Next up, dropping the M11 from pocket height with the rear camera unit facing the marble floor. No cracks or damage to the plastic body or the camera unit glass as yet. Now let's perform the last drop from pocket height, this time with the Unnamed Glass Protection facing down. The company provided Unnamed Glass Protection on the display survives the first screen side drop from pocket height. We are performing the drop test of the Samsung Galaxy M11 to see the drop resistant capabilities of its plastic design body and display glass protection. The last Samsung device to fail my drop test was the Galaxy A70s with severe damage to its display. Let's find out if the 197 grams heavier weight of the M11 is bad for it or not. Now let's increase the drop height to 6 feet and continue the drop test on marble from different angles. The first bottom side drop itself actually created a slight disfiguration on the plastic edge near the glass, but thankfully the glass itself has not cracked as of now. Next, the top side drop from 6 feet. As you can see, there is a dent on the top edge, and in fact it is slightly cracked at that point. We have not seen this kind of damage and screen separation before on other phones, including Samsung's own devices, which means that the materials and design is not that great for absorbing drop impacts. Now starting video recording and drop testing with the camera unit side facing down. Fortunately, no further damage or cracks to the plastic mid-frame or to the camera unit glass. Next, the final deadly drop with the glass display facing down. The display glass protection was able to handle the 6 feet drop without shattering and no internal damages, so it is a pass in this regard. But it failed in terms of the plastic midframe suffering for the first time on any device from dents and slight crack and screen separation issues. But you can prevent that to a great extent by using good quality total protection. Next up, moving on to fun stuff with value. The pen test will give you a clear proof or indication about the structural build quality of devices that the company has given you for your money. The pen test of devices, especially which have failed due to poor build quality, helps us consumers by making sure that the brand does not repeat the same mistake in future and make stronger builds for the fans. For example, the Samsung Galaxy A20, A50, A51 and A70 all had failed my pen test due to its extremely poor soft build quality and plastic design. But the Samsung A20s, on the other hand, had great build quality. Among the M series devices tested on the channel, the M20 and M30s had failed my pen test, but the more recent devices like the M31 and M21 had passed due to relatively stronger build quality. The newly released M11 here reminds us of older Samsung devices which always had awesome build quality and structural strength, having no problems in passing my pen test. The Samsung Galaxy M11 also passes my pen test pretty easily due to its strong structural build and design.